G'day guys, Jaden here, back down at Stratco Jeb's Cross with Phil at the Garden Centre. Phil, how are you?
Good mate, how have you been?
Yeah, fantastic.
Back by popular demand, I hear.
Yes, yeah. Welcome back. So, very excited to be here, as you can see. Beautiful day at Jeb's Cross. So, Phil, wanted to come and chat to you about the unusual weather we've had in the start of summer.
Where are we at? You know, I mean, February, normally by this stage we've had weeks and weeks of hot weather and we're probably over it. This year it turns out that, you know, we've had probably 1 or 2 weekends where it's been like crazy hot, and the rest of it's sort of, I mean, this week's been 26 degrees.
Yeah.
So, you know, pulling out the old jumper again. So.
I don't know if you've got the jumper on just yet, but.
Well, the only reason I even mentioned it is because Chris put it into his garden notes about getting the jumper out, but. You know, a few people softer than others, maybe.
Yes. No, absolutely. It's been an odd one, and I've heard rumour around the garden centres that maybe we're going to expect, you know, that change of season to be delayed a little bit. We're going to have the hotter weather for longer into sort of March, April, May.
I kind of think that, you know, through doing these videos, we're probably the last people that should predict what's going to happen with the weather, because we haven't got it right yet. So. Who knows? I mean, Indian summer is a possibility, and it sort of feels like it might sort of last a lot longer. But I guess the only thing that we can sort of be certain about is that even with some sort of hot days to come, the length of the days are starting to shorten, which means that, you know, we're not going to be seeing sort of 9-hour hot days. It's going to be more like a 6-hour hot day. So in terms of garden surviving, it's a lot easier to sort of get your watering and that right around those shorter days. So you've got to take the small wins when you can, don't you?
Absolutely. I guess one thing that was touched on in the garden notes was the protecting our sun-dry damaged plants, especially as we expect some hotter days coming soon.
Yeah, I guess sort of when we start to go into these 26-degree type days and you sort of feel more comfortable to get back out into the garden, there's that sort of that desire to just tidy the garden up sort of in the interim, and with that any of the sun damaged plants that you've got might get pruned back, and it's probably the last thing you really want to do. I mean, you know, expecting still some warm days, by sort of pruning off any of that sun damaged foliage, you're just opening up all the soft growth underneath. So if you do happen to get 35 again, it's likely that foliage will get damaged.
Yeah.
And I guess the more that you do it, the sort of the lower down into the plant you get. So ultimately, you could cause like irreparable damage if you prune too hard. So leave it for now, and I guess, look, there'll be plenty of time, sort of March, April, to tidy those plants up, and a lot safer. Yeah.
Is there anything we can do to prep plants? And I mean, grass is probably the easy one where, you know, you just give it a soak if you know a hot day's coming. But plants, is there anything in particular you can do to prep them for a hot summer's day? Yeah,
look, I mean, getting watering done early in the day. You know, plants tend to sunburn or damage because they haven't been able to sustain the water in the foliage. Usually because we haven't sort of provided enough sort of in and around the root zone, which is why we talk mulches and stuff so much. So yeah, certainly water the plants early in the day, depending on, I guess, the damage you're seeing. If it is sunburning and that, there are chemicals that you can apply, sort of like sunscreen for plants. And when you spray it on, basically it affects the rate of transpiration, so sort of the rate that the leaves lose the water. And if you can slow that down, the plant's less likely to suffer. You know, I guess we talk about sea salt a lot, or sort of kelp products a lot.
Yep.
Those sorts of things as well sort of go in and certainly help protect the roots. And a lot of the time, you know, healthy roots is really the basis for a healthy plant. So if the roots are suffering from drying out, or you know, potentially over wetting because people are watering them too much because it's going to be hot, and then those kelp products can certainly either help protect them, or, you know, I guess sort of rejuvenate them after that damage has happened.
Yeah, well, I'm learning something new every day, because I did not know there's sunscreen for plants. So there's something new. But I mean, if you are out in the backyard doing some gardening, probably good chance over summer to put on a hat, put on some sunscreen yourselves, just like we make Phil do when he's doing our how-to videos.
Yeah, slip, slop, slap.
That's it. We don't play around with sun. No one's tougher than the sun. I mean, that sums up summer in a sense. I guess there is the end of summer in sight. And with that, we're probably looking to think about veggies.
Yeah, and Chris and I talked about this, or touched on this last month's video, that you know, it's been a bit of an up and down season for people in terms of where they're at with their summer veggies. You know, we're starting to really see the window closing on summer vegetables. You might still be able to get a few things in if you wanted to get maybe a small crop before sort of winter really kicks in. But you know, I guess when it comes to your winter vegetables, you want to get them in really while there's still warmth in the soil. You know, and to be fair, you'd probably say the same thing about winter flowers. But you know, in terms of your veggie patch, you know, this month or early next month is probably around the time that you'd want to start prepping. So if you've had a really bad time with it this year, and the patch is empty, or you've decided not to sort of do one final summer crop, then for me it's time to start to turn it. You know, work some organics in if you're going to grow certain vegetables, you know, brassicas and stuff like that. If you're looking to do things like potatoes or carrots or whatever, then generally it's just a matter of turning the soil, trying to help it get some moisture back into it. But you wouldn't really want to sort of put too much organic matter in, because you know, potatoes and carrots don't really like that sort of thing. They're probably one of those veggies that like to go into a bit more bland soil. So it's all about sort of prepping for next season now.
Yeah. What are you looking to grow? What's on your list this year?
Look, I don't have a big backyard for veggies, so you know, and to be honest with you, I've got two kids that, you know, really don't like vegetables. So we force feed them carrots and broccoli, and if we can get that done, you know, we've had a win. So
yeah. No, I'm still one of those kids, so nothing's changed. I guess, you know, we talked about plants in the sun. What about plants out the sun? It looks like we got some indoor plants in front of me here, which probably like summer a little bit better because they're in the cool and in the shade.
Yeah, I think sort of indoor plants, you know, I guess really the trend started around COVID time. You know, people not being able to get around and things like that really started to focus on that indoor sort of garden, and the trends just continued on. And I guess sort of what we're seeing as well is, you know, yards don't tend to be getting any bigger. If anything, they're getting smaller, which means that, you know, to sort of enjoy more of those plants, people are bringing them back inside and enjoying them in probably most rooms of the house.
Yeah.
So you're right. So indoors is really probably our biggest growth area, and along with it, I mean, you know, I put a selection of some of the more popular things at the moment, and you know, in terms of what you're seeing is this is from a nursery that we put on maybe 6 months ago, Enliven, and their focus is on a lot of the rarer plants, more collectible type plants, and I can't tell you just how much of this stuff people are interested in, and how quickly it goes.
Right.
I mean,
so what's the go-to plant? Have we got it here on the table?
Well, I'll tell you. So the one right in front there, Thai Constellation, since probably just before Christmas, we've been struggling to keep up with demand.
Yeah.
We're starting to sort of see it, you know, supply is starting to meet demand.
Yep.
You know, as I guess the growers have more growing material to choose from, they can start to catch up and get those plants out to us. But as you know, people sort of change away from that. There's all sorts. I mean, you can see most of what we're seeing here is variegated in foliage, and that seems to be where the interest is. So yeah, we've got spas and different Bacchias, you know, Monsteras and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't see that trend changing very much, and certainly, you know, like I say, you know, smaller yards, or you know, people moving to apartments and stuff like that. The selection of indoor plants is just crazy. It's getting so good, so much around. it's definitely something that people can sort of continue to enjoy.
Yeah. I know a few people that have pretty much turned their house into a garden. So,
well, I mean, we're lucky enough that through the nursery, people that are interested in sort of this niche product come through, and I mean, they spend hours literally looking at these products. It's crazy. Photographs on social media about what they're growing and things like that, and I was speaking to one of our customers just last week, and I mean, how proud she was in terms of all the stuff. She's scrolling through her phone, just showing me all the photos. And it's so good to see people enjoying this sort of stuff. And to be fair, like Thai constellations used to be so crazily expensive. Like we wouldn't have stocked them at one point because they were so expensive. But I guess supply and demand, they're really starting to come back down in price, and to a point where sort of they're affordable to everyone now. Which I guess is the beauty of it. Like, you will see certain things here that are crazy expensive, but sort of as sort of the nurseries catch up with the supply, we see the prices come down, and sort of we follow that trend as much as possible. And it's just about sort of getting nice plants into good people's hands.
For sure.
We just want to see people enjoying these sorts of things, for sure.
Well, it looks like we've got a couple of sale signs which might not be on camera, but what's this one next?
So absolutely. So we talk Enliven, which is this. Everything, I guess, probably that you can see on camera behind us is from Enliven. And for this month, part of the catalogue offer is that we've got 15% off Enliven.
How good?
Yeah. So look, from my point of view, and I'm a bit biased, but I think we'd be hard pressed to be beaten on price for that.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like we got some rare plants at some more crazy prices for the rest of the month. So there you go. There's a great opportunity to pick something up on special as well. Talking about picking something up, Valentine's Day around the corner.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you guys have already picked up a beautiful partner to spend the day with, but we've got a lot of gifts kind of planned here that you might be looking to gift on the day. So Phil, do you want to talk us through some of these select few that you've got in front of you?
Absolutely, and keep in mind, I mean, this is a selection from Jets Cross, because that's where we are filming, and each of our nurseries has an individual buyer. So some of the products that you'll see here are from catalogues, sort of like the hydro tubes here. All of our garden centres will have those, so you'd be able to sort of shoot in. The plants will all differ in those tubes, but a good selection of those. But I mean, what we've got, sort of another hydro offer. This one comes with a little wooden stand, and I mean, we can't show it because the batteries are still packaged in plastic, but it's got a little button on it, and it lights up and shoots light through the bottom of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So lights up.
That's fancy.
Something for the office or something like that. You just put it down and put the light on. Once again, another smaller hydro type setup. You go into sort of, I guess we'd call these foliage gardens. So these are all not in either sort of nice ceramic pots, or some of them are in glass containers. So they're foliage ones. We've got the same sort of thing in cactus here. There's a selection of bonsais. So we do them in a couple of different sizes. This is actually the tube packaged. So that's how you would pick it up in the store. Terrariums. So
bit of everything by the looks.
Plenty to choose from, and like you say, I mean, plenty of indoors as well. So if you wanted to pick up just a plant, and we've got plenty of ceramic pots available as well, you could sort of match in something nice from the indoor selection along with a nice pot as well. So there's really something for everyone.
Yeah, it looks like it.
To be fair, you could send a bunch of roses or something like that, and it might last a week or two, but plants are forever.
Oh, that's, well, not if you give them to me, but anyway. On February the 14th, guys, Valentine's Day, we also got a special offer in our Stratco stores across the country. So double points for our super savers. If you're a super saver, you already know you get points for every purchase. This time around, you're basically going to get double that. So $10 for every $100 spent. Up to a maximum, of course. But yeah, it's a nice little promo for you guys, so come in store. It's a good time to purchase a gift on the day and take it home to your partner. I guess that takes us around to one last thing that we'd like to raise, which you might have seen already, you might have heard about on the grapevine, but it's the Garden Centre nominations, which is just cropped up again. I think there was a couple of stores and team members involved last year as well.
So we're lucky enough that this is probably the second or third year in a row that both Jeps Cross and St Mary's have been nominated for it. So this is a South Australian award. So the Nursery and Garden Centre of the Year award, or Garden Centre of Excellence award. So yeah, 2 of our stores have nominated. This year, in terms of staff members, Chris from St Mary's, who obviously was in the video from last month.
Yeah.
Because of all his hard work behind the scenes in terms of doing the garden notes and you know, people that might be unfamiliar, so he sort of manages the St Mary's Garden Centre, which he does an amazing job at. So he's been recognised for that reason, and so he's been nominated for the Team Member of the Year award. So
yeah, well, congratulations, Chris. So guys, there's a QR code. There'll be a link. You might have already seen it in some emails that have gone out, but you can basically go and vote for Stratco, Jeps Cross or St Mary's as Garden Centre of the Year, or go and vote for Chris as the Team Member of the Year as well. And if that's not incentive enough to vote for your favourite place like this fantastic garden centre, you can win $200 by going and casting your vote. So encourage you to do that. We're very thankful for every vote we get, but also a nice little prize you could win along the way.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, I couldn't be prouder that 2 of our garden centres have been nominated. It's really heartwarming, and I guess now it's just it's a people's choice. So it's in the viewers' hands. I mean,
absolutely.
if we're lucky enough to even sort of make top 2 or 3, that's significant for us. You know, obviously we'd like to take the award out, but you know, it really comes down to what people think of what we try to do for the garden centres. So yeah, it takes literally 2 minutes to vote. You know, you scan the code. It's just sort of name and email address and choose who you want to. So
yeah, encourage you to do it, guys. It took me 2 minutes, and I voted for my favourite store, which Phil knows is
which one?
A Stratco, maybe not Jeps Cross.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh well, I guess we'll see. So I mean, voting closes for this on the 12th of February, and the awards night is the 17th of February. So you know, look, if we're lucky enough to win it, come next Garden Notes, who knows?
Yeah, that's it, guys. Well, that's pretty much everything we had planned. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Phil, for having me down at Jeps Cross again. As always, if you've got questions, comments, concerns, feedback, anything, feel free to let us know. We always welcome it. And yeah, if you want to see anyone on the next live, feel free to say that you missed them as well, like I got. So, no, Phil, thank you.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for the opportunity, and I guess it's a happy Valentine's Day to everyone.
Yeah, I'll look forward for my present from you, all right? Thanks, guys. Cheers.